Okay, let's just sit up tall, close your eyes, take a deep breath in your nose, sigh it out the mouth. Deep breath in, sigh it out. Deep breath in, sigh it out. Deep breath in, sigh it out, and slowly open your eyes. Good. How you feeling today, Rigel?
Not bad at all. It's the beginning of a work week. Got to start the work week off well. You know, even if even if it doesn't start off well, you have to make it well. You know what I'm saying? If not, the following days are just going to be it's going to be a down, it's going to be a uphill battle. So you know what I'm saying.
I get
So
it.
what
I
about
get it.
yourself?
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Same thing. Just getting
Yeah,
started. Well, every day I work through the weekends too. So, but I
yeah,
got to relax a little
yeah,
bit this weekend, so that was
yeah.
good. Um,
That's good. That's
so I want to ask you this. I don't know how it is in Italy, but what do you think? What is going on with the P Diddy news in Italy, or and what is the impact of P Diddy's legal battles and the controversy you think on our
all right.
society in general?
Well, I mean, here it's not so. It's not such a. It's not. It hasn't had a big effect. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't really even know who P Diddy is. You know what I'm saying? Because he's always been a behind the scenes dude. If you're not in the culture, you know what I'm saying. So,
Mhm.
I mean, same thing here. Like a lot of people, they will only know Dr. Dre only because of Eminem and 50 Cent. Not how much he created before that. You know what I'm saying? So, and even still, they may know just bits about him. You know what I'm saying? So, also because Dre, Diddy, those other cats were around during our period. You know what I'm saying? We're millennials. You know what I'm saying? So the Gen Xers, Gen Zers, they that's beyond them really. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's say that from a societal point of view, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. I'm thinking that a lot of these Weinsteins and Combs and who knows who else we're going to find out about, you know what I'm saying, in the near future, in the upcoming future. Um, I just really think that these things have been going on for so long, you know what I'm saying, and things are finally starting to come to light, I'm not saying it's a good thing that, saying that things like this have been going around forever, but, and I'm not, saying, and I actually feel bad it's only coming to light now, though, but his situation, at least from what I've been reading, I don't want to jump too much, jump, to a conclusion so much because a lot of things that's been, put upon him is like really serious, like devilish type of shit, So I mean, human trafficking, gun trafficking, uh, prostitution, so many things, you know what I'm saying? So many skills, bro, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's so crazy. And it's so many people, you know what I'm saying, being, associated with him, over the years, if they were associated, knowingly of, the things that were going on or not, who knows really, you know what I'm saying? You got people from DiCaprio to Bieber to Usher, you know what I'm saying, to politicians, you know what I'm saying, that, they hung around, even the New York mayor, I forget his name, Eric, I forget what his name is, but the New York mayor, probably
Well,
went to some of
he's in
those.
trouble now himself.
He's in
So
trouble for other things, you know what I'm saying? So, it kind of like, okay, you've been hanging around with Diddy, so it's understandable now what's been
mhm.
going on, so, and I think that, it's one of those things like, let's say this. I would never say that things like this are good, and I'm actually happy that things like this come to light. But I think that unfortunately, sometimes because some of these people have so much money and they have so much influence and power, whether it's through blackmail or whether it's through just having money, you know what I'm saying, and establishing them, gaining their footing as far as the influence goes, that they're able to, make it seem like more of a spectacle. It's kind of like when I got speaking about something similar to this situation here. If people are not really in the culture, when they think of stories like George Floyd, they're like, wow, that's like really like atrocious, And then back in the States, we're kind of like, okay, it is atrocious, and we all know about this, but it happens so often, what I'm saying, it becomes normality, what I'm saying. we kind of, we accept heinous atrocities on other people as normality, and I think that's really, 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 really tough. It gets really, how can I say, overburdening, not only for us, but even for future generations. They say, okay, that's normal, that's normal, okay, you know. And a lot of times, a lot of people, a lot of victims are getting victim shamed. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I mean, when that comes about, that's when things start to get, it gets oversaturated. Let's say that,
Mhm.
and I think that becomes the problem. What we have right now, it's like, okay, Diddy, he's just another one of those billionaires that's grabbing chicks by the pussy. You know what I'm saying? Where you got one, saying that was ex president trying to run for one. We got Weinstein, that's been, rubbing elbows with politicians and everything. So I mean, that's society. And I think that's really, 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 really terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I think that for
Mhm.
it to happen today, uh, it's not new. And I hate to say that, I was aware of it, not Diddy per se, but that has been going on. You know what I'm saying, with other, big ballers. You know what I'm saying. But I'm sorry, just, it feels like it's been so saturated, these different ideals, that those victims don't really get, their true, what I'm saying, the true, let's say, empathy, what I'm saying, from society. What I'm saying. A lot of times, people want to try to find justice, but only just to be woke. What I'm saying, and try to cancel these people. But in reality, you cancel someone, and then afterwards, what I'm saying, you just kind of forget about him. He goes to the way, what I'm saying, falls by the wayside, and that's it. Sorry for ranting.
No,
That's just
no,
my
that's,
idea about
that's
how.
what you do, Raj. One thing I want to say like this. I think it goes to show that we just can't be putting these celebrities on a pedestal so much, and we've been putting all these celebrities on a pedestal just because they got money, just because they got fame, and a lot of these people, not all of them, they're kind of fucked up, and they're doing fucked up shit because the power is getting to their brain, the power is getting to their head, and I think that's really bad. But I'm going to play devil's advocate to you, in talking about a lot of these victims, a lot of these people, they come to Diddy parties, they want to get on, they want to get into the music industry, and it's kind of like pledging,
Yeah, yeah.
they and unfortunately that's the norm, that's what's been normalized, is this type of hazing, and even to the extent of Diddy, like you getting butt fucked to
Mhm.
get a record deal, pretty much.
Yeah.
And and I'm not trying to say that's normalizing it, but at the end of the day, sometimes a lot of these people, they they're willing to sell their soul to the devil just for 15 minutes of fame, and so
No, I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, but a lot of
yeah.
people are like that, But and I think, but the thing is, I think that what happens is, like you said, and that's part of us putting, these celebrities, the super wealthy, the affluence, on a pedestal. What happens is that we see where they are. What I'm saying, we say, okay, but we know some bad shit is going on behind the scenes. We don't know how bad it is. What I'm saying. If it's not too bad, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? You want me to, light a match, to a restaurant, get some, some insurance money. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, you want me to put a bomb on Kid Cudi's car? That's not so cool. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really sign up for that one. You know what I'm saying? Just
Well,
because, he was
but the
sitting,
restaurant, that's pretty intense too. Arson is
you know,
life in prison.
yeah, but at night, you know what I'm saying? You do it at night, you know what I'm saying? Get this insurance fraud going on, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing, but when
Mhm.
so many people, and one of the things is, like I said, a lot of times people think about victim shaming. They're like, yeah, well, why do you come out, saying 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? When you see somebody so much in power, and we all know this dynamic. It might
For
not be
sure,
the
yeah.
same when it comes with people with money, but it's
Agreed.
from people from the neighborhood, from the hood, people from other places. When you see that dynamic, you say,
Mhm.
okay, this person is powerful, right? I have something that I could put against him or her, but I know the repercussions.
Yep.
I'm gonna probably take this to my grave. You know what I'm saying? Think
Mhm.
about, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to normalize, sexual assault, but think about in some cases where men have been coerced into finishing off inside of a girl. You know what I'm saying? Even if the how can I say the intentions were clear, I want protection. Oh, you don't need protection, blah 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 blah. Right? That's still similar to, what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's similar to, forcing yourself with physical force on someone, but that's still violating someone's wants or needs. You know what I'm saying? And that person, it's not that that person didn't want to get involved, didn't want to have relations. It's just they didn't want to have relations in that way. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, like you said before, you know what I'm saying, playing off of what the question you posed me, right? A lot of these people knew that, you know what I'm saying, that lifestyle is wild. You know what I'm saying? These, you know what I'm saying, these after parties, these Diddy after parties are wild. But some of them didn't know how wild they really were, you know what I'm saying? Until they were there and they're like, whoa, maybe this isn't so cool. But, seeing the dynamics, like, okay, can I leave? You know what I'm saying? Without somebody, like, trying to, like, silence me, you know what I'm saying? Or can I leave? You know what I'm saying? Even it might even come down to an ego thing. Like, okay, I don't want my friends like, oh, why you leave that, bro? I mean, I'm not talking about Diddy party. I'm talking one of these, like, one of these super parties where you have so many things going on. I'm like, yeah, my friend's gonna make fun of me, so I'm gonna stick around. You know what I'm saying? I might not do anything, but I'm gonna stick around because I don't want the shame. Because even so we are still human beings. You know what I'm saying? So even when you're a victim, you still have an ego. And a lot of times people might not come out because they say, bro, sometimes they think I'm alone in this. You know what I'm saying? I might be the only one that suffered Diddy's wrath. You know what I'm saying? And then when it got, he was like, wow, this nigga Diddy was wild. Okay, wait a minute. I got my bro. Same thing happened to me.
I have another thing to say. We always talk about, especially when it comes to sexual assault, we talk about women becoming sexually assaulted. But in this case, there's probably a lot of men who've been sexually assaulted. And, there's definitely...
Probably.
No,
like, truthfully.
So there's definitely a lot of, like a hesitance for men to actually come out to say, like, I've been sexually assaulted.
Yeah. They're willing to take that to their grave, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of getting it's like, fuck it, I just took, dick by 5 dudes and Diddy.
Yes.
After party. Fucking, I did release that single, you know what I'm saying, on Bad Boys. So, I'm just gonna keep that shit shut.
No. That's disgusting, dude. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like you said, yeah. I mean, some of them might just take that to their grave. They're like, okay, you know what? If nobody finds out about it, you know what I'm saying, I'm cool with it, you know what I'm saying? But again, these type of things torment people, you know what I'm saying?
Of course they do.
So when you're in that situation, it's difficult, So sorry, excuse me. Okay. No, but yeah, these things they can be very difficult and very burdensome. Sorry about that. These can be very difficult and burdensome for people. So like I said, I'm the last person to try to victim shame because even if a person might be a victim in a situation that you say, oh, you're not really a victim, dude. It didn't go like, who are you to say that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hear whenever I hear a story about a female who says, they try to force themselves on me, blah, blah, blah. And he pushed me against the wall, blah, blah, blah. But did anything happen? No, but he found me, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, he did do something, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell that person that you were not a victim, you know what I'm saying? You're a victim because if we are supposed to live a life free of living how we want to, whether in the end if it's moral or immoral, just like the assailants, you know what I'm saying? We should also be able to, not subjugate ourselves to things that we don't want, So I mean, I wanted to take something like what Dave Chappelle said in one of his shows. He was saying, "You're like, yeah, I'm not saying you a whore, but you are wearing a whore's uniform." I see what he's saying there, but that's still though, just because what I'm saying, you can't just go up to any police, you know what I'm saying, officer, and that's what I'm saying. Go up to the FBI, yo, bro, tell me how do I get to the near 7-Eleven? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's a very misogynistic mindset right there.
It is. You can't. That's inexcusable.
That's you downgrading women because the way they dress. I mean, you can do it. You can be butt naked, and if you don't want nobody to touch you, nobody's supposed to touch you. And
exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the same thing goes for men. Like we said, unfortunately, society, the way society is that that happens much more often to women than to men. But yeah, but if you don't, like you said, if you don't want it, you don't want it, bro. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, right? Bringing up another point similar to that. Who was it? Eminem. That's one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah,
But he is very, very offensive, and he's a super Diddy hater, right?
yeah,
But he said that a lot of times girls they get their breasts done just so they can get pestered and catcalled to ugly dudes, ugly poor dudes, so they get like, oh, why don't you leave me alone? But and that's possible, but still, why? Why, what I'm saying? Why should that be a problem for that person? What I'm saying? Still doesn't mean you need to be subjugated to those forms of molestation, even if it's verbal. You know what I'm saying? So that harassment, and I think that's one of the things that goes on in society is that if it doesn't go to a point where I, as the judge or the person who's adjudicator, right, like in the John Wick series, right? If I don't see it as saying finalized as in an assault, everything else is fine. No, that's not true though, dude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can still hurt someone, traumatize someone, very very painfully. If you do it with words, the thing about this, if you do it with words, with physical actions, and not requiring you killing somebody, you raping someone, or something like that, you can still do that. And that's one of the problems that happened, I think, in the Diddy case, is that a lot of times, he coerced a lot of people, so even those who were probably abused and they probably didn't like it, but they slowly, it's a filtration process, what I'm saying? Some of them come through, what I'm saying? And it's a numbers game. If I molest and harass 1,000 people, 2 or 3 might like it, or 2 or 3 might be cool enough with it to let it keep going. You know what I'm saying? Even Cassidy was one to let it keep going for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, and in the end, you know, what happens is that a lot of other people say, well, well, she lives with the dude, and it ain't that bad, so it can't be that bad for me. Maybe I'm tripping out, but no, you're not tripping out. It's just you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things. And I think he played on that, just like, what I'm saying, like you said, making the band, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want you to go to Southside Harlem and get me some Cambodian breast milk. Like, what the fuck, dude? Right? And some yak cookies. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a perfect picture of what went on. You know what I'm saying? He came up with some crazy requests. I'm not sure if you ever saw Making. I saw the first season of Making the Band, but
Nah,
I
but
remember.
but the Chappelle that was pretty accurate though, right? The Chappelle show was pretty
Yeah, I said
accurate.
it,
I mean,
was it was
the
accurate to
skit
that.
was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
accurate.
And but that shows how what I'm saying, how he was also in real life too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All you have to do is change some elements. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You want to be in a band that I'm about to start up. You have to do this. It's not related. It's not going to help you increase your skill or your talent. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help you work together, as a group, as a collective.
Mhm.
I just want some Cambodian breast milk from Southside Harlem, nigga.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, how's that going to help things? You know what I'm saying? So, and they kind of made, saying they made things, it perpetuated things. And I think that I was listening to a lot of commentary of people who used to work with him,
Mhm.
um, even when Biggie was around, and they said he was really, really harsh. And he used to have tantrums, like throwing like in the office, you know what I'm saying? Like office space where you would get angry and he's like start breaking printers and shit with a baseball bat, And they said he was like that before. And by making so much money, just like was it the Menendez brothers who killed their parents?
Mhm.
Like, having so much money, it becomes like, okay, well, I can do that because I'm rich. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's another thing. You think that rich people have a different, different relationship with the law than people? And I'm talking about not rich people that's making like $400,000 a year. I'm talking about people who are billionaires and hundred millionaires and very influential in the media, such as P Diddy, celebrities. You think they have a different relationship with the law than the normal person? And should they have a different relationship with the law?
All right, let's say this. I'm gonna say yes and yes. Okay, so again, because the way society is based right now, I'm not saying that I believe this, but the way society is, I think that they should have a different relationship with law enforcement. And yes, I think they do have a different relationship with law enforcement because, for example, how many high-profile people, very affluent people, were called? Okay, this is the CIA. This is the, this is the, what is it? This is the Attorney General office. We would like for you to please come in. Like, was it Dave Chappelle when he was like, when he was the rapper? He's like, can you please come in tomorrow? No, I can't tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, Whereas another Joe Schmo like me and you, they will come to our house. You know what I'm saying? They already have the warrant already signed by the judge and everything. You know what I'm saying? And they will arrest you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's say this. It's kind of like, I'm not saying that they dictate the laws or that they manipulate the laws, because that's what I still have hope in democracy. I want to think that yes, they have some influence, but I don't want to say that they dictate things. It's possible they do, but I hope that they don't. But they definitely have a different relationship with law enforcement, which I kind of understand because we, the public, we've given them so much influence. So their influence and affluence has this effect on how they react at a higher level, because societally speaking, even though we never want to admit it, they are socially and economically, and if we want to think about it from a humanistic point of view of how we view them as society, they're higher than us. You know what I'm saying? They're superior to us, So a lot of times, think about this. You have
But,
some
but the law is supposed to be fair. I mean, we have this notion of what fairness is and just. But does it matter? It's because somebody's on a different societal rung of the ladder that they should
so if you're,
they
like I said, I don't
should be
want to
treated differently. I mean, what's the reasoning behind
I
that?
don't
Just
want
because they're at a higher
to
rung
get into
in our
politics. I don't want
society.
to get into politics. All right. So yes, I lost you for a moment. Yeah. So I was saying, I don't want to. I hate, getting into politics. Really, you know what I'm saying. I follow it. I hate getting into it, but you cannot be convicted on so many counts of different felonies and still just be out. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Also, you have to think about it. Also, is it correct that what I'm saying? An ex super high politician. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say ex president's name. But do you think it's fair that, what I'm saying, he does stay locked up until arraignment? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's fair either, you know what I'm saying? Because you did serve, you know what I'm saying? Not time, but you serve as a public official, you know what I'm saying? Whether you like him or not, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's correct that, you keep him locked up in jail. But the system locks people up, you know what I'm saying? If you're convicted on felony charges, you're staying in prison until you get your sentencing, you know what I'm saying? They will deduct that time that you spent waiting for your sentencing from your total time, but you're staying in prison. You know what I'm saying? Right? You're not going to be able to hit the campaign trail and things like that. You know what I'm saying? If it's what I'm saying, if you're a normal person. But at the same time, you have to let what I'm saying, sometimes you have to let those people, because again, like I said, we give them this power, the normal people. I'm gonna go off on a small tangent, but it's a similar thing when we think about athletes. When a lot of people say, "Wow, athletes, they make tens of millions of dollars a year. That's not fair." You know what I'm saying? What about doctors and firemen? And I agree with that. But if we're constantly filling the seats, and those teams, those owners
Yeah,
are making $7 or $8 billion a year,
but we
it's
live in
normal that you pay your best player 150 million. Actually, paying your best player 150 might be slave labor for that best player. You know what I'm saying?
no,
But
we live in a capitalistic society, so that's right.
we live in a capitalist society, and we accept
Yeah.
capitalism, and we love, as I'm talking about, as a whole. You know what I'm saying? As a mass, we accept it, and we condone it, and we actually, the biggest thing here, I think the biggest factor here is we yearn for it. We yearn for capitalism. You know what I'm saying? We always want to make that extra buck. We always want to put ourselves in better situations than other people, and that's the main thing, dude. And I think that's those type of ideals get into those minds of those who are rich and in power, and some of them, Diddy, right? He may say, you know what?
Yeah,
Not
but
only was I
in
was running
reality,
shit before, and now I got billion, dog. No, can't touch this. You know what I'm saying?
But in
Stop this.
reality, capitalism only like really, really works well for a small percentage of the population, and the highest percentage of the population the people who don't, or who aren't extra athletic or extra intelligent, they're pretty much modern day slaves to working for some corporation. And now
Yeah,
in these days, corporations have no loyalty to their employees, and they really treat them as independent contractors without any benefits. So
definitely, yeah.
so I'm not saying I'm not against capitalism. I think capitalism also sparks a lot of innovation for society because it incentivizes people to be much more innovative and creative. But whereas like socialism doesn't probably promote that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, capitalism is not what is like for the majority of people. It's not what is all talked about. You know, it's not as much. You know,
No,
I can't
definitely.
even think of the term, but it's
It's not what
not
it's
as
cracked up to be. Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
cracked up what it is to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, no, definitely. No, I think so too. I think that well, the thing is, I look at capitalism as I look at globalization, as I look at in America where we have the right to bear arms. You know what I'm saying? Personally, from my point of view, I don't agree with capitalism, globalization, nor the right to bear arms.
Okay.
But the moment you let one pass, you have to let them all pass, right?
Mhm.
So the moment you say, okay, the right to bear arms, okay, now stop. Whoa, bro. The new people have to say, well, what about me? You understand? So you're gonna let them have it. So you're gonna grandfather clause them, but I can't. No, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying?
But you know this whole paradigm is all based on like this. I hate to say it, and I don't want to be like that guy that's like hating on like rich white men, but it's based on what was created by rich white men in the Western world. That's been going on for thousands of years. You know, so maybe that paradigm needs to change completely because like our world is become because of globalization, our world is becoming much more international. You
Yeah.
know, and
But
much
how,
more.
how do we change it? We get more billionaire Diddy's up there.
No, not that. I mean, just it just maybe some things are just some things are outdated and antiquated. Like you don't need to have the right to bear arms. What
No,
the,
you don't. You don't. But
what
but
the
for a person who really wants a pistol or a firearm, if I want a pistol or firearm, you shouldn't be able to prohibit me or ban me from doing it if you let people before me do it. You know what I'm saying?
well, you should. I
You know what
mean,
I'm
if
saying?
anything, you have to. I mean,
It's like one of those things. It's like,
it is a slippery slope, but it should just be completely banned altogether or
yeah,
not.
definitely, 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 yeah.
Well, you
But
know, I know
once yeah,
that's not gonna.
once
A
you let
lot
it
of people are not
pass,
gonna. A lot of
yes,
people
once
are
you
not
let it
gonna be able
pass,
to
you have to
digest
let it.
that. Yeah, that's yeah, but
Exactly. Once you let it pass, you have to like permit other people to have that
but
opportunity.
you
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
you say that, but you know, they just totally stopped abortion in the United States of America.
I mean,
Like
that's
they
again.
totally overturned Roe versus Wade, and
Yeah,
that's
I know. Yeah, I know. That's
definitely
that's terrible.
that's
That's terrible.
that's definitely much more, you know, like what the fuck to carry a gun to protect myself. I mean, most of the time
Yeah,
a gun you don't ever get to protect anybody. You just end up shooting somebody you love, and
exactly.
by the time you go reach in your drawer to get a gun, the burglar is taking what he's taking and
Exactly.
probably killed you and
And
took
getting
your
your
gun from
ammunition from another cabinet. Like, wait a minute,
you.
dude. Wait a minute. Let me
Exactly.
hold on. Let me load
So
my gun real quick
so
before you know. What I'm saying before you.
and the British aren't coming to attack us anymore. So
Exactly.
the right to bear arms is bullshit. But a woman should have the right to have an abortion if she wants to. You know,
Oh,
that's like
definitely, definitely, definitely.
that's total. You know, so you know we say things can't be turned, but they can. You know,
Yeah,
we just
yeah. But
I mean,
let's say this,
antiquated shit is antiquated shit. In my opinion,
and I
and I
agree with
think
that completely, dude. I agree with that
and
completely. But when you're going to get so many people that
I, agree-
that
I get
that
that.
still are still attached to that antiquated and that antique lifestyle, it's
Mm,
very difficult to get them to break the mold. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and
mm,
even those who try to break the mold, even if you present sound, plausible logic, you're crazy, you're too woke, or you're blah 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 blah. Whatever it
true
is
that
to make you excluded and not included in the conversation. You understand?
for
So I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that happens, So like you said, so there's so many antiquated things that goes on in society today. But because we've been doing it for so long, just kind of accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, it's that oversaturation of normalizing things, which deep down, if we really think about it objectively, is it really right? You know what I'm saying? Like you said before, there's not one sheriff per 7,000 inhabitants in a small town in North Dakota anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Right. So these type of things shouldn't be on the table, in my opinion. But the moment you let somebody do it, it's difficult. And that's one of the problems I've always had with nuclear weapons. And we're really getting off topic now, but
Mhm.
I've always, I don't believe that they should exist, but the moment America has them, saying China has them, India has them, Russia has them, Iran says, "Yo, what about me?" Israel has them, what about me? I should have the right to do it too. And then America, you shut the fuck up. You use two of them. You use two of them on populations. So
Yeah.
who are you to tell me that it's dangerous, bro? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I don't agree with that mindset, but you can't deny that logic. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny, you can't refute that logic. You know what I'm saying?
You can't. You can't.
They
You
say,
can't.
oh, but they're bad characters. Who's to say that um our ideals, our intentions weren't bad? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The world would be a very different place right now. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that the world the way it is now is better than it would have been? I'm happy with the world because this is the world I know. But I'm just saying that who knows? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's
Hmm.
very difficult for you to slap somebody and say, "Yo, why are you slapping people?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, you
Well.
slapped somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that was different though. I slapped him because he deserved it. And I think that that person deserves it too. You know what I'm saying? So who are you to tell me that? You know what I'm saying? Who are you to tell me that what you did was, deserving, that action was deserving, or that situation was deserving of your action, but mine isn't. You know what I'm saying? And that comes
I
down
mean,
again to, like we said before, what do you want? What do you want as a person? What do you want as a nation? What do you want as a society?
mhm.
Should a person be able to do something to you that you don't want without your consensus and be able to get away with it? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it all
Wait.
boils down to. Huh?
Yeah, it's always, it's always tricky. That's always a tricky question because the intention of the founding fathers is like to create a nation where people can do whatever they want to, as long as they don't infringe on the right of others. But no matter what,
Yeah,
we live in such a connected society. Almost anything you do affects other people, just to what
because of
degree. Like if you
globalization now.
like
Because of globalization now.
if you're cat calling somebody, yeah, that's my freedom of speech. But you're offending somebody else, a woman who's wearing a short dress. So so then it goes like that. So,
Exactly.
going back to P Diddy, like his
Exactly.
actions and whatnot, and how he affected a lot of people and stuff like that. But even though people did still, you know, allow themselves to be subjugated to his abuse, that's still normalizing very bad behavior for the rest of our society. So,
Definitely.
because that's
Definitely.
that's how that's how we're connected. So even though maybe not all these people, but a lot of these people did, what, I want that Diddy deal. So you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever it takes to,
Exactly. Exactly. I'm gonna
to
sell my
be down
soul
with
for a
bad
minute. You
boys.
know what I'm saying?
I'm there, like, I'm
Exactly.
down. I'm down. So,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, that's creating a normalcy of like, this is what you got to do to be a musician, or or an actor or an actress or whatever, and it's messing up for everybody. But at the end of the day, there's only so many spots to be actors and actresses, and so, but
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there are only so many spots, but does that mean that your spot should be chosen because of say how much you sold your soul for? You know what I'm saying? I mean, even for example, let's say this. Even in sport, sometimes there are some athletes that slip through the cracks and they make it to professional level. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm.
for the most part, 99% of athletes are super athletes. You know what I'm saying? So even
Yeah, for
somebody
sure.
who's warming a bench, on the LA Clippers is a monster, is a beast, you know what I'm saying, as far as basketball goes, you know what I'm saying? Baseball
Yeah,
and so many other sports,
agree with you. I
but
agree with you. But like, like, that's what I think.
it's,
I
it's
agree.
based off of meritocracy. It's based off of meritocracy. You're coming here for sport. Show me that you can play sport. You know what I'm saying? And if you bang, you know what I'm saying, the coach or the coach's wife, okay, that might be a different thing. You might be able to get to six man, not on the at the end of the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
I think
you know,
in sports, those guys are almost equally talented, except for like your outliers who are like the
exactly,
Hollands and
exactly.
the Mbappe's, the Bellinghams. But the rest of them are really, really good. And the
Yeah,
extra stuff they do, like being coachable, doing the politics, get them into the starting lineup or not in the starting lineup or getting benched. If you have a bad
Exactly.
attitude everywhere you go, then you just lose it. You just don't go anywhere. So you do have to suck up a little bit because
No,
everybody is
no.
equally talented.
Obviously, there's always politics because we were
Yeah,
human beings, So there's some form
yeah,
of politics whenever we interact with people. But I'm saying though, to do something immoral, because a lot of people, like you said before, I'm not gonna say all of them, but like you said, also at the same time, without victim shaming, some of these people knew what the Diddy parties was about. You know what I'm saying? They knew it was crazy. They might not know how crazy it was, but they knew it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They knew there was souls selling. You know what I'm saying? They
mhm.
knew that they would probably have to sell souls. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them chose to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Because in fact, we see that so often. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking anything away from any actor, any singer, or any rapper, or any musician. Sorry, I'm not taking anything away from any actor, musician, or artist in general. But your true, if I'm judging you on art, your art should be good. Okay,
Well, art, that's
and
what I'm saying. That's my whole thing.
there are a lot of people who
Art,
are pruned.
art is subjective, right, Joe? It's like whereas sports is like this. If you just score more points, you're that. That's it. It's very
Not necessarily.
it's very it's very straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Can you produce in sports? It's like take this. I know a lot of people are Swifties out there, and
Yeah,
and
but not
I'm not
necessarily.
saying
No,
like
but not
the
necessarily.
Swifty is just a average to me an averagely talented musician. If she didn't
All right,
have the
I'm leaving
connection,
mine. You're not getting me canceled, dog. No, I'm out of here, dog. I'm not messing with the Swifties,
and
dog.
I'm not. I like Swifty. I dig some of her music. I think she has some really good lyrics that she probably didn't even write. But I'm just saying she's not Beyonce. She's not Rihanna. She's not a Whitney Houston. She doesn't have that caliber of a voice as that. But
Uh-huh.
but but she blew up. And there's a lot of actors out there that I mean, I think Brad Pitt is a very good looking guy, but I don't think he's Denzel Washington as an actor and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No, definitely,
you know,
definitely, definitely.
so I think when it comes to art, it can be very subjective.
No, definitely. I think that it is. You're right. It is subjective.
Yeah, but sports is not that
But again,
subjective. It's
remember,
at the end of,
remember, a lot of people are put into positions of stars, top billet actors, and not based off of what they've done in screenings and things like that, because they were they were coerced, and they were pruned, and they were you know um they were, I don't know how can I say, they were
we just
handled.
lost some viewership when I did the anti Taylor
Exactly,
Swift speech.
exactly, exactly. I know I'm not going against the Swifties, dude. I like my life. I love my life.
Yeah,
I'm not getting.
I enjoy her music. Don't get me wrong. I think her music is cool for what it is. It's
Yeah.
cool. She's got good lyrics. It's very ingenious. Some of her lyrics, but I just think you can plug her in with anybody.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody
I
like
see what you're saying. I
Whitney
see what you're saying.
Houston,
Yeah.
you can't plug Whitney Houston is like once in
Oh, definitely,
like
definitely. I mean,
and
but that
Beyonce.
again, that's we're we're comparing different echelon of stars. You know what I'm saying? You can't plug in. You know what I'm saying? You can plug
Well,
in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Taylor Swift is the biggest pop star of all time now.
Yeah, I
So
mean, but you can plug in. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. You could plug in
I'm
a
sounding like
couple people
Kanye
on the
now.
Celtics team. You could plug in a couple people on the Celtics team, but with that team, you know what I'm saying, you beasting the same. You know what I'm saying? You could plug in somebody on a Real Madrid team with Mbappe and Bellingham and everybody, and you still balling. You know what I'm saying? But there are not so
No,
many
not in
Bellinghams.
professional
And
sports. If you put
they're
me
not.
out
They're
there
not
with
so many.
if you put me out there with them, they're gonna expose that weakness, dude. And that's the way sports go.
I don't know. There's a lot of, like I said, you had, okay, obviously we're
Well, I know
older now, you know.
Barcelona was down 10 player. I'm down to 10-11 last week in
Yeah,
Champions League. Do you see that
yeah,
game?
exactly, exactly. No, no,
So and
no.
they
Yeah,
almost pulled it off, but they get scored at the end.
yeah, yeah.
But they played
No, no,
ten
no. But
eleven. I think the guy had a red card like it with 10 when at the
with
12
10
minute
minutes,
mark.
like with 10 minutes, yeah, yeah, exactly, like from the
Yeah, so
beginning,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, you just need to occupy space, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, but the thing is, like I said, I don't know. I think that yeah, I see what you're saying, that a lot of celebrities, and that's what I think too. I mean, I don't think that Swift is in that category, but I completely agree with you with the fact that sometimes, yes, you could just put anybody up there, give them some coaching. You know what I'm saying? Tell them, okay, this is how you dance, this is how you move.
Britney Spears is better. Britney Spears is a better
Britney
example.
Spears.
Yeah, like
Even Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter is like that. Miley Cyrus was
I
like that.
actually like Miley Cyrus. I think she got more
I
of a
like her
voice.
songs, but she had good songwriters. She had good songwriters. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course she does.
She had good
Yeah,
songwriters. You know.
she has the whole
But I mean,
infrastructure.
exactly. So when you have
Yeah.
everybody around, you know, like you said, also when we talked about athletes in the past, you know, when you have the physical therapist, you know what I'm saying, that specializes only in thigh muscle injuries. You have a sports doctor who
No,
only deals with Achilles heel injuries, and then you know you have like the Tecker
but that,
therapy. You know,
there's
so
no
you have
question
so
about
much
that.
around you.
That's the difference between LeBron and the rest of those guys. But at the end of the day, everybody in the NBA is super talented,
No, exactly.
like
No, in fact, no, in fact,
naturally talented
no, in fact.
out of this world. And same on
And
the
that's what I'm
soccer
saying.
field, the
That's
same
what I'm saying.
on the
That's what I'm saying
tennis
is
court.
no. That's what I'm saying. It's based off of that meritocracy. Whereas, like I said, in arts, a lot of times it's not based off of that. It's based off of that exposure, who you're socializing with outside of the football field. Whereas, you know what I'm saying, you get the Cristiano Ronaldos, the Bellinghams, you know what I'm saying, the Messis, because they're really showing what they are on the field. And maybe also off the field. But
Yeah,
definitely on the field because they are athletes, you know. Whereas a lot of
definitely.
artists, a lot of actors, they're not showing so much on the screen, on stage, but they're showing much more off stage, you know what I'm saying?
For
Behind the
sure.
cameras. You know what I'm saying?
They
And
making a sense.
that's what happens, you know. And I think that, you know, a lot of
At
people
the Diddy's parties, getting
exactly at the
getting
Diddy
loose,
parties, you know what I'm saying? Because he,
getting
you know what I'm saying,
getting
he gives you that break, you know what I'm saying?